meteorologist Chris Boone, sponsored by Billy Black HVAC and Carrier.
Let's get you the latest information on the track of Hurricane Ian. Again, this is not going to be any impact for us here in the Concho Valley or even for Texas, staying well out in towards the eastern parts of the Gulf of Mexico. But right now, at Category 2 strength, with winds of 100 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 13 miles per hour. It's barely going to scrape the edge, the western edge of Cuba as it really starts to move in towards the Gulf of Mexico. And that's going to be a much more favorable environment. Again, warmer seawater temperatures as well as less shear. So that's going to expect that storm to intensify, getting up to Category 4 strength as it moves closer towards Florida. And that's where the real concern becomes, not just with the storm surge, but those strong winds as well as the heavy rainfall, because you'll see how fast or how it slows down again over the next, basically the end of the week. So going from Wednesday to Friday, it's talking about 2 to 3 days that it'll be sitting over Florida. That's going to dump a lot of rain as it kind of continues off towards the north, and then it'll start to weaken as it really starts to interact with the land. So again, giving you the kind of idea on what impacts that parts of Florida could really expect when it comes to Hurricane Ian, as it is expected to intensify, kind of tracking up towards the north. So kind of a little bit of a test. Is probably one of the first storms that we've really seen hit the United States for us this year. Otherwise, for much of the United States, again, especially off towards the west, much warmer temperatures. Seeing those temperatures in the 80s all the way up to Portland, 88 degrees, 81 in Billings, Montana, as well as Denver, also at 81. Bigger difference the further east you go. You see those cooler temperatures at upper level low kind of circulating up over the Great Lakes. Seeing those cooler temperatures in Detroit, 57 degrees. But for here in the Concho Valley, well, we dropped a little bit as that cold front moved through last night. We saw a few isolated showers, and that has since pushed well off towards the south. Now just seeing a few showers out towards the Great Lakes, as well as some of those showers in southern Florida. But we saw mostly clear skies for much of the Lone Star State. Did see a few showers to the south of Brownsville in towards South Texas, as well as out to the south of El Paso. So again, more clear skies. And we've seen those pretty comfortable temperatures. In fact, the last couple of weeks, in fact, we've been well above average. Last week, we were sitting in those mid-90s. That cold front came through late on Sunday. That pulled those temperatures back down into the upper 80s and low 90s across the area. In fact, we only topped out at 89 degrees for this afternoon, so a lot closer to average. Again, just about 2 degrees above average. And we're going to start to see those overnight lows get a little bit closer to average as well, getting us back down into those low 60s and upper 50s across the area. Clear blue skies as we look out at our cactus cam off towards the north. Temperatures already starting to cool back down, already at 87 degrees, much drier with those winds more out of the east and northeast. Again, pulling in drier air, and seeing those dew points in the low 40s across the area. Humidity values only at 21%, and those winds right now out of the east at 9 miles per hour. We've been seeing them a bit breezier across the area, but they'll start to calm down as we get into the later parts of the week. Right now, a bunch of 80s across the Concho Valley, 86 in Coleman, as well as Sterling City, Mertzen, and El Dorado also at 86 degrees. Pair of 8s for Junction, as well as here in San Angelo. Ballinger and Robert Lee also at 88 degrees. And we're going to continue to cool things down as we go in towards the evening hours, but we're feeling the effects of that cold front that came through last night. Again, most places about 5 to 7 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, and we're going to hang on to that trend where we stay right in those upper 80s and low 90s. Winds, for the most part, still seeing some teens out in the eastern parts of the Concho Valley. Brady, as well as Menard and Mason, still seeing some of those winds up in the teens. Everyone else dropping down into those single digits. Tonight, we'll drop down into the low 60s and upper 50s. This is going to be the first time San Angelo got down into the 50s since May 26th. Again, it's been a very warm summer, so we're kind of hoping we can kind of get back into more fall-like weather. Temperatures tomorrow, 90 degrees for an afternoon high, mostly clear skies. We'll still see those winds out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that ridge that kept those warm temperatures through much of the western United States, well, that's going to start to slowly drift back off towards the east. It's going to keep us in a fairly quiet pattern as we go through the rest of the week, and even towards the weekend. We'll start to be keeping an eye on this little bit of a circulation. It kind of makes its way into the Pacific Northwest. If that were to push further south, they may be bringing us some cooler temperatures, but it's going to take its time to kind of get here. Otherwise, a fairly quiet 7-day forecast. Temperatures hanging out in those low 90s. We'll add on a degree or two here and there as we go through the rest of the week, heading in towards those weekend. But the overnight temperatures dropping down into the low 60s and upper 50s. A little bit of a chance to get some break from the heat.